Hello, my name is Brad. I have a school called the Abundant Peace Internal Art School where we teach Tai Chi and Aikido and related internal arts. I've been practicing studying Tai Chi for close to 40 years. Tai Chi is really about bringing everything we have together in a harmonious way. So we're using the mind, breath, and body together to relax the body, open the joints, and get the energy flowing. All of that is led by your awareness and your intention. So you're getting the mind clear and focused, as well as moving the body in a very gentle way. Today, I'd like to share with you some very simple and gentle Tai Chi moves. It'll be very easy to learn. You can do it in your own home, in your own space, and it'll help you with very gentle movement, getting in touch with your breathing, and very gently optimizing your breath. So we can start with just a very simple warm-up just to get the mind and body connected together and just preparing ourselves for some good gentle movement. Bring your awareness to your breathing. Notice where you're breathing and how you're breathing. Are you breathing in your chest? Are you breathing in your abdomen? Just noticing how you're breathing now. And if you can, just allow yourself to include the abdomen as you breathe. So as you breathe in, of course, the chest expands a little bit. You allow the belly to also expand. That'll optimize and deepen the breath and make it more efficient. When you breathe out, of course, the chest sinks back in as the lungs empty. If you rest your hands on your belly, that's a good way to kind of track the movement of the breath and to encourage the breath to become more full and complete. So breathing in, the belly expands a little bit. Breathing out, the belly sinks back in. So you can breathe in through the nose or the mouth, whichever is easier. And then just to bring the body into a bit of movement with the breath, we can gently start to roll the shoulders. So breathing in, we can bring the shoulders back and up a little bit towards the ears. Breathing out, shoulders roll forward and down. Just having that movement with the normal cycle of your own breath. It's kind of natural as you breathe in to bring the shoulders back and up, and as you breathe out, shoulders roll forward and down. Now let's just do a couple the other direction. So breathing in, shoulders come up to the ears and rolling back. Breathing out, shoulders roll forward, down and forward. Now in Tai Chi, we often talk about holding the ball. We imagine we're holding an energy ball. You could imagine it's a light beach ball, very lightly shaping your arms and hands as if you're holding a very light ball. And just like we did with moving the shoulders with our breath, we can do something similar with the arms and hands. Breathing in, expanding of that ball. Breathing out, there's a contracting of the ball. And then each time rolling that ball over. Breathing in, breathing out, rolling it over, expanding up and down, breathing out, coming together. In Tai Chi, eventually you start to feel the energy between your hands and perhaps even the energy around your body. And this is a really good exercise to start to notice that. Then we can do that sideways as well, holding that little ball. Breathing in is the expansive movement. Breathing out, coming slowly back together. You can imagine and feel as you breathe in, the ribs and chest expand, that pushes the arms out. And as you breathe out, the ribs come back in, that kind of pulls the arms back in. And we come back to one hand over the other. As we breathe in, arms expand away from each other. Breathe out, we change the holding of the ball, the other hand on top. So your movement is with your own in-breath and out-breath. This gentle movement is called holding the moon. So each time we come to the center, like we're holding the moon between our hands. In Tai Chi, we're always cultivating relaxation in the body and clarity in the mind. A lot of us carry our shoulders up high. So we want to relax those shoulders. In Tai Chi, We call them sitting shoulders. And want to release and relax the abdomen. Now, another exercise coming from that little holding the ball is the bottom hand flows out in front and up, and the other hand comes down. And that hand that's out comes back on top. So again, we're changing the holding of the ball. But now that bottom hand flows out in front of you. It can be a gentle reach to the front corner. Other hand does kind of the opposite, goes to the back corner. Come back to hold the ball. The bottom hand flows out to the front corner. So you don't want to push through any limitations. You don't want to push through any pain points. Staying within your comfort zone. If you need to ever stop and just catch your breath, you can just gently relax your hands on your lap, take a moment, and then whenever you're ready, you can come back. And by rolling our hips forward and back, we get a little bit of action in the hips and lower back. And again, those shoulders are always sitting. A very, very common movement in Tai Chi is called commencement. You can let the hands slide forward and up. And then elbows drop down, the hands rolling back to the body and drifting down to the lap again. You could even imagine that you're in a nice pool of water and the hands are just drifting through that water. Now, if you're in a nice pool of water, you're almost weightless, right? And it just takes your mental intention to move the arms. Just the intention is enough to set those arms into motion. If you wanted to time the breath, you breathe in as the arms flow up and breathe out as the arms come back and down. But you don't have to time the breath with the movements. That's just an option. It's totally fine just to breathe independently, comfortably, and just focus on the movements. If you imagine that there's a string attached to your knee and your hand pulls that knee up, and then the other one. Now, ideally, when you lift your knee up, you want to avoid leaning back or rolling back too much. You want to stay nice and straight with your back. And that engages your core. Moving slowly, smoothly, takes more control, more work, more effort. So it actually works the body very deeply. This is very similar to a specific movement we have in Tai Chi called Golden Rooster stands on one leg. And to do that actual Tai Chi move, we just change the hand to basically fingertips pointing up to the ceiling as the knee goes up. Now, if you don't have the flexibility to move your legs up very high, or if your hip or leg are getting tired at this point, you can just come up on the ball of the foot or the toe of the foot. You can breathe in, coming up with the hand and knee, breathe out as the leg and hand come down. But what's most important always is that you're breathing comfortably. We can come back to holding the ball again, relaxing those shoulders down. One hand pushes away from you, while the other hand comes towards your chest, and then you switch them. So again, if you imagine you're doing this in water as well, you get a nice, flowing, smooth feeling, a nice, gentle quality in the movement. Breathing in, the belly and chest expand. Breathing out, the belly sinks back in. Abdominal breathing engages more of the lungs. So we want to breathe not just with the chest, but the entire abdomen, the entire torso. Perhaps one more little movement. This is called stork spreads wings or stork cools wings. And we get some nice movement in the shoulders. Again, how high you go depends on your range of motion. You want to stay within your comfort zone. One hand flows up as the other hand flows down. Letting those shoulders completely release and relax. Good. We can do a wind down movement where we have a gentle pushing forward, bending at the hips, Rolling back, we turn the palms up and make soft fists. So we're rotating at the hips, coming forward on the front of the hip, the sit bones of the hips, rolling back a little bit, palms up, rolling the fingers closed, letting the hands rest on the abdomen again. Let's just check in with the breathing. Breathing in, can I include my abdomen with my chest as it expands? Breathing out, letting the belly sink back in. Breathing in brings energy into the body. Breathing out is an opportunity to let the old energy go, to release tensions. And a big breath in through the nose, long breath out through the mouth, letting your hands rest on your lap. Nice open long spine. The belly is relaxed and released, breathing comfortably. Well, thank you for joining me for a few minutes of Tai Chi. I hope that was enjoyable for you. And maybe you noticed some ways of breathing that can be a little bit easier or fuller. So exercise doesn't have to be forceful or harsh. It can be very enjoyable, very flowing, as if you're just floating in water, getting everything moving, including the breath flowing.